feeling all tingly. And it's a couple of different reasons. One, because I kind of made a fool of myself earlier. It's all right, though. It's too great to be here and screw you. I don't care, but there you go. It's Friday. I'm in love. We got so much today. Special counsel. I think the fix is in. I don't trust it. I don't believe it. I think they're going to still get away with it. Also, new song by this guy, Oliver Anthony, storming social media. It's coming up. And in the meantime, Saturday. Look out. I love this stupid song. Mercy. Anyway, 304, how's it going? Let me give you the phone number. I know you're not phone call people, but, just for the record, we love to have phone calls. And plus, there's a lot to react to. We'll talk about stuff going on this whole week. In fact, I'll tell you what's going on here in just a second. First, the phone call, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Pete Davis, how you doing, sir? What's going on? How's everything right now?
Just fine. And I'm really liking the fact that I'm not there if you're feeling all tingly, because you get a little handsy when you feel tingly. Well,
it could happen. I've got a, I'm just, as you know, I'm a hot mess, basically a wreck. And so I'm enjoying all my wonderful moments. Anyway, and we got a bunch of things with you today. We got tweet, we got Pete's, we got a kind of a nasty tweet reaction of some kind coming up. Also, animal stories, little Skynet. We'll talk about, and by the way, I don't have to go right into the hard news right now this second, right? Can we, I can tell you what's going on, right? Like the old days. We'll talk about this special counsel and the Hunter Biden thing and the new picture showing that President Pants on Fire was in on it. It's a freaking white trash family, honest to God. We'll talk about the Fulton County business. Also, the story, did you hear the story of the autistic girl in Britain? Oh, man. We'll talk about that. Also, the reaction to it. We may do comments from Bill Maher and Jordan Peterson about woke stuff. Make fun of some Democrats for his stuff. Anyway, we got a lot of newsy stuff coming up, as well as Pete's going to ask us, give us a quiz to determine whether we are truly of a culture that we may not be familiar with, or whether that's nonsense. Also, something about it might help Flounder with his cat. How's your kitty cat? We haven't seen Lucas in a long time since we sent a podcast to your place. How's he doing?
He's doing good. He's getting big. I'll have to send you some pictures. Yeah, he's getting big. Luckily, my neighbor was able to watch him when I went to the beach with Veronica. So
excellent. And is he friendly? He's
getting more friendly. Stuff, but the minute when I'm out of town, whoever kind of comes and checks up on him, he's now friendly. But the minute I come home and someone comes in there, he's like, "Leave me alone."
Well, a cat, cats are
very territorial.
Well, I've had, my whole life I'm a family of 7. Okay, my phone of 5 kids, second of 5 kids, and so we had cats and dogs and rabbits and birds and canaries. Everything. Freaking menagerie. And the cats, whenever my parents would go away and come back, they had Siamese cats quite a bit. And my sister had like 4 or 5 cats up in her room by herself. Anyway, my parents Siamese, every time they'd go away, when they came back, the cats would pee in their typewriter. They're freaking, nuts. Anyway, Pete's got some kind of update on house cats and things you don't know. Let's see. Just for a couple things I was talking about yesterday, I think I was talking about my VA medical exams and stuff for my Agent Orange things, but so it's not to be confusing. I did not go to the VA in Decatur. Lately, the VA is when you have to get a medical exam or something like that, they contract it out. So I actually went to 2 different doctors' offices up close to where I live. I didn't have to go down to the VA. Just for the record, that's what they do, which is convenient. The problem is it takes 6 or 8 months before you get them. Anyway, just for the record, it was contractors, and that's how they do it, which is good. We got so many things. I don't know. Shall I do my little tinkly thing? If I have a little tinkly today, this is kind of stupid.
Is the camera on, Flounder?
Yes, it is.
No, it's just silly. It's silly. So when I come in. you can see the room here. There's a bunch of desks and cubicles, stuff like that, and there's the salespeople make sign. I mean, it's an office, a big open space. And when you come in, there have cubicles with sort of walls around them. And so as I'm walking in the door, I can barely see the top of Amanda's head. I can see her blonde hair. I can see that she's here, but I can't really see her. But I can see the top of her head. And so I thought, we've been gone for a couple of days and I haven't seen him in a while. And I thought I'd play a little trick. And so as I'm coming around the corner toward where she's sitting, we'll take a left around kind of a big column to where she's sitting. I said, "Hey, baby." And I walked around the corner, and she spun her head around, and so did a very attractive sales girl named Jill. Both spun their heads around because she was sitting about a desk down. And I said, "Oh my God, I probably swear to God, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking around." And they were laughing and happy. And honestly, we were having so much fun about that. I was making a joke about "Hey, baby," and they both said, "Hey, I like it." We're feeling good and all. Honestly, I said, "But this to me is like dating for the whole weekend." I said, "At my stage of my life," I said, "I'm going to feel good about this all day." I had a little fun thing with two hot babes here at work without getting in trouble. And I'll bet you a few years ago, somebody would write me up at Human Resources. Do we even have a Human Resource? Yeah, they might be.
I'm dusting off the resume as we speak.
That's possible. Do we even have a Human Resources person around here?
Yes.
Oh, crap. Well, all right.
She'd like to see
pretty much any company has to have them now.
I guess. I guess you probably. I guess you probably have to. God, I got so much. A couple of quick things. This was very nice. And Pete, your note is here. Flounder handed me, and one for you, a note with my name on it, and it's a thank you note. It says, "Thank you very much." Open it up, and it says, "Dear Kimmer, thank you so much for all your help during this internship. I'm forever grateful for your kindness and insight. I hope to see you all again soon." And then some FJB, sincerely, Nick. And I thought, well, that's pretty classy. And it's a good thing. And again, let that be a lesson to you. If if you're a parent, maybe have a kid who's doing an internship or something, a little thank you note, handwritten thank you note, dropped off it goes a long way. So very classy.
$100 bill helps.
Well, that was true. And he said the only problem was working on that guy Flounder on the board who kept giving him the ass. But anyway, but that was fairly nice. And one more, like a business thing here. 10 after 3 already. Holy cow. I promise we'll do newsy stuff for just a second. Pete Davis, I don't know why I feel bad about this. I got a renewal offer in the mail from Sports Illustrated. I have been a subscriber to Sports Illustrated my whole life. Basically. I guess since I can remember ever being like 25 or 22 or whatever. Anyway, but since they changed it a couple of years ago, it used to be a weekly. Now it's once a month, and I don't know. And I used to, when I get them, I would bring them in to you, Pete, during our podcast stuff. Now, do you have any interest in getting my Sports Illustrated?
When I was a kid, my dad found out I loved sports. He subscribed to it, and he got it for me, and then later my brother as well. And my entire life, like you, I read it up until the last few years, and it became nothing but a woke rag sheet.
Honest to God, it's like 9-page stories on women's soccer and how they're, great to bring the world together or some kind of thing. I want to paint it. This is bullshit, schwa. I can't even enjoy just my freaking sports magazine.
Yep.
It's just unfreaking believable.
Ditch it. Don't read.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And it's just, that's the one little thing. And like they give a damn. Especially I'm in a demographic that isn't even listed anymore. So I'm sure that's true.
When they ask for your age, you spin the dial like you're on the
right.
The Price is Right.
Yeah, pick one. What difference does it make? So anyway, well, I'm just for the record. I'm done. I'm doing a lot of these little things where I'm just saying, that's it. I'm not. There are things. I'm just getting rid of things that are tying me down mentally.
You don't have to play the game anymore.
Right? Yeah. What are they going to do to me?
They can't cancel you. We've already canceled ourselves.
I got nothing to cancel.
I'm living in a cave in the mountains eating peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches. What more can you do?
Next time, put a slice of bologna in there or some nice Havarti cheese. Peanut butter, cheese, and mayonnaise with butter on both pieces of bread is one of the great sandwiches.
I'm going to tell you some food
time.
items coming up in Pete's tweets that you're not going to believe.
Okay, I'll look forward to it. Also, I can't wait to play this song. Have you heard this guy, Oliver Anthony? This is sparking all over the place. He's a country. I've never heard of him. Flounder, you ever heard of this guy?
No, but I'm getting the story ready for you, so during the break I'll have it printed for you.
Actually, I printed it because I've got it on my phone. I took pictures on my phone.
I got some stuff here for you.
Oh, great. Oh, let's see, the modern technology. And by the way, speaking of phone, I'll tell you how I cut Pete off when he's trying to send me a picture of some hotties, which got me all tingly also. So I got like a double tingly thing going here with hot babes everywhere. 3:13 already, and you'll hear the song. It will play the more in the special prosecutor counsel stuff. And it's all coming up. Let It Rip Friday. Great to have you aboard. Hope you're happy. Are we on YouTube and Rumble and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Ripping and rolling. It's 3:13 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3. Look out, here we go. There we go. 318. I hate this music. I know I'm the only guy in the world. Everybody else would. That's fine. It's, he's here with the late David Bowie. There you go. Here you go. Well, thing that's
We're making progress.
Yeah, well, in 2022, last year, on this day, David Bowie was named Britain's most influential artist of the last 50 years. His ability to transcend music, film, and fashion. Other musicians in the list included the Spice Girls, Sir Elton John, Stormzy, and Boy George. Who? The most influential artists of the past 50 years. David Bowie, number one. Well, there you go. That's probably, I guess, Britain's most... what about the Beatles? Were they more than 50 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they were. Oh, my God, 60s.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's why. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to use a bad word. And a quick thing here, birthday list. Here's what Flounder's history birthday guy writes about birthday list. Joe Rogan is 56 today. Quote, controversial comedian whose podcast cost Spotify users access to Neil Young and Joni Mitchell music. I don't understand anything about this guy. Viola Davis is the actress, 58 today. Amanda Waller, I guess it is, in Suicide Squad movies. And Miss Keating on How to Get Away with Murder. I mean, you've probably seen her before. Anyway, and a quick historical note. In 1934... for the first time, Alcatraz opened as a prison for the most dangerous cons. Have you ever been there, Flounder?
I've seen it, but I've never been. I've never visited to it.
I think I've asked you, Pete. Have you been there before, Alcatraz?
I've looked at it. I've never had any inclination whatsoever to go out there.
Well, when I was split away from my kids, unfortunately, I was in San Francisco, and I flew them out one of the times for our many visits. And one time we took a trip to Alcatraz, and we did the tour, which was very exciting. And then he said, okay, anybody who wants to go into solitary confinement will volunteer to do this because you may not like it. And I thought, well, so we said, yeah, we'll do it. So we went into what they, solitary confinement, and when they closed the door, it's absolutely black. I mean, I don't mean black where if you go to bed at night, turn off all the lights, where, you can still kind of wind your way around. I mean, you can't see your fingers in front of your eyeball. Literally, I've never seen blackness like that. And it's not like you put a blindfold on, that would do it, But again, where you're able to walk or move or something, and you literally have no sense of anything other than absolute paralyzing fear. I mean, it was overwhelming. And he said, now, we'll do this for like 8 seconds because people would start screaming to get the hell out of there. I mean, it was really surprisingly overpowering. That was very.
Thank God you were never captured by the Viet Cong.
Well, for the record, Mr. Marty, we're going to talk about Vietnam a little bit. I wrote a letter and told him, and I said, if I'm captured, I'm dead. I will not be taken alive, and if I'm captured, I will kill myself as soon as possible, because I knew I'd be too much of a coward, and I was afraid I was going to be a bad Marine and spill secrets. And if I would ever, do something to... Oh, I can't talk about this. Sorry.
All they had to do was put you in a dark room.
That's right. I'd tell them everything.
I confess.
I would tell him everything. I mean, really was surprising. Okay. God, we got so much. All right, let's do a quick. Oh, no, I know what we'll do. I promise we'll do that newsy thing. But first, there's Letter Rip Friday. Among other things, we haven't done Pete's Tweets in a while. We also have some Flounder's Funnies comedy bits coming up. But Pete's Tweets, let's do a Pete's Tweets here, Flounder, if you don't mind. And because we got, now we don't get a lot of phone calls, but we do get reaction on YouTube or Rumble and stuff like that. And there we go. And including among the feedback items we got today, something apparently who really enjoys the show. We got Pete's Tweets with a Pete's Tweets.
This is the reason we're doing Pete's Tweets so early, because this latest tweet from this gentleman pretty much describes what you just did for the last 30 minutes.
Uh-oh.
Okay. By the way, we jumped in yesterday with the hard news right off the bat.
Yeah.
Just to say, not every day are we fooling around for the first one. Okay.
Right.
His name is Boris Kraplop.
All right, sir.
I'm not making
No,
that name
I'm very happy to have Mr. Boris around here, sir.
And he writes us to say this nugget of joy, and I quote,
Yeah.
Is there some sort of coherent conservative message or discussion in between the idiotic, stuttering gibberish and moronic fake laughter on the Kimmer Show? Oh, my God. If so, I sure would not mind hearing it. God, that is awful radio. LOL.
And here I thought you really liked me. Yeah, that'll be the day.
Idiotic, stuttering gibberish.
Well, he's probably right. I know he's right. I mean, but I don't. I'll try to do better. I mean, we do newsy stuff. I mean, but I'm not. Frankly, I'm not going to come in here and start doing the freaking news. I used to be a news guy for 30 freaking years. I've been in radio for 55, and I was a news guy for most of it. And I was, by the way, a damn good one and an Emmy Award winner and everything. ABC in Chicago. So everybody kissed my butt. But the fact of the matter is, this is radio. We're just talking, man. We're here together. It's not, if this is your only source of anything to live your life on, you're screwed. So don't blame me. We're just here for 3 hours fooling around. I mean, I thought you got that.
Some people are new.
Well, anyway, I'm laugh screaming. I'm not screaming yelling. I'm laugh screaming. But
some need to be beaten into submission.
Well, okay. Well, let's do a new hard newsy thing. In fact, Flounder, if you would get the soundbite of the news comment of the day, this is your little scumbag, liar, dweeby little pus bucket, Attorney General Merrick Garland, pretending to do something proper for America for once, like a liar.
I'm here today to announce the appointment of David Weiss as a special counsel, consistent with the Department of Justice regulations governing such matters. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry. No, that's the old President Pants on Fire, turn and walk away. The Attorney General is this guy Weiss, by the way, is the federal prosecutor who had investigated supposedly the business dealings of Hunter and brought charges against him in Delaware. Then the thing fell through. But Weiss is the guy who was in on the fix to let him get away with damn near anything. They had the probation-only plea agreement for Biden. He pled guilty to tax evasion charges. Thank God the person of the year so far is U.S. District Court Judge Mary Ellen Noriega, I believe it's pronounced. She rejected the agreement because they tried to sneak through a sweetheart deal, hiding a paragraph that gave him immunity from all his other deals. But let's remember, this guy Weiss was also the guy who let the statute of limitations go by for the years 2014 and 2015 for Hunter Biden's tax evasion charges. Guess why those 2 years are important? Those are the 2 years when his father, the vice president, was vice president, and he was being paid by Burisma. And then Joe Pants on Fire held a $1 billion ransom extortion blackmail to get rid of the prosecutor investigating his own freaking son in Ukraine. And that was the 2014 and 2015. And this guy, Prosecutor Weiss, was the one who let the statute of limitations expire so he cannot be charged with obvious crimes that he got caught at. And they're going by the wayside. And by the way, I'm no lawyer. This is not just me. Weiss is described to serve as special counsel for the ongoing investigation and prosecutions referenced and described in U.S. v. Hunter Biden, as well as any other matters that arose or may arise from that investigation. That sounds like a perfect deal. However, the language opens a possibility of other members of the Biden family, including President Pants on Fire, Joe Showers with daughter, part of the investigation. However, House Judiciary Chairman and Representative Jim Jordan, I do trust this guy. He is blasting Weiss's appointment in a statement issued through his guy says, David Weiss cannot be trusted. This is just a new way to whitewash the Biden family's corruption. Weiss had already signed off on a sweetheart deal with a plea that was so awful and unfair that a federal judge rejected it. We will continue to pursue facts brought to light by brave whistleblowers, as well as Weiss's inconsistent statements to Congress. Remember, he got caught in a lie, saying, well, no, he was not stopped from trying to bring things. And they said, yes, you were the guys who stopped him from bringing charges in Los Angeles and 2 different jurisdictions. Anyway, that's a little complicated, but still, I don't trust any of this. I don't trust any of this. Thank God. The one thing to remember about this is that Congress has nothing to do with this. The Republicans in Congress, Jim Jordan's people, and Comer for the Judiciary Committee can still keep investigating, still follow the money trail, and still get to the bottom of it because they can't be stopped. So this is now the latest special counsel, but I don't trust. And you know, freaking Garland's a dirty little snivelly little liar. Whipping Haitians on horseback at the border. I'm still ticked off about that one. Anyway, I don't know, Pete. What do you think? Do you believe this is going to be a good thing?
I don't believe any of it. I think it's all one big whitewash, and the Democrats know as long as they're in power, they can get away with this because the media is complicit and corrupt. And also, Trump and everybody saying it. We're at a crossroads right now in this country. We used to joke about a banana republic, but right now we have the most corrupt government on the face of the earth.
Yeah. And by the way, the Washington Babylon Bee points out that as evidence of bribery and corruption by the Biden family continues to mount, Democrat lawmakers in the nation's capital expressed skepticism, saying they'll need a lot more than just eyewitnesses, financial records, audio and video recordings, admissions of guilt from parties involved for them to believe any of it. I'm not buying it, says Congressman Eric Swalwell. If you want me to believe President Biden and his family have been involved in a far-reaching money for favor scheme for years, you'll need to show me a lot more than rock-solid, irrefutable evidence. If the Biden family was corrupt, I think I would have heard about it from my Chinese spy girlfriend. The president and his family have done nothing wrong, said White House press chief Karine Jean-Pierre, who is a woman and also black and also gay. It's completely normal for families to enrich themselves by selling political influence to foreign governments and corporations. Any assertion of the contrary is simply Republicans grasping at straws, and I'm not taking any more questions. Nothing wrong here. 3:30, we're coming back with a lot more. Stand by on your Let It Rip Friday. Here we go. Come on, girls, start singing. Got to back time this better. Da-da, 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 da-da. Now we're talking. There we go. Yeah. I got the beat, baby. On this day in 2011, the Go-Go's got their 2,444th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Actually, they got the 2,444 star.
Wow. I was like, wait a minute. That's a lot of stars.
Man, they got a lot of hit records I didn't know about. I guess this is what Boris was talking about.
This is just the kind of
Oh, my God, man. It was located, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, located where the legendary punk club, The Mask, used to stand. Go-Go's frequently played the club in their early years. Again, this is 2011, they got the star. The Go-Go's rose to fame during the early 80s and were the first to date only all-female band that both wrote their own songs and played their own instruments to top the Billboard charts. Let me say that again. They were the first and so far the only all-girl band that wrote their own songs and played their own instruments. That was made number one. Pretty cool. You got to respect that. Let's see. Hold on a second. I got a birthday here somewhere. Yeah. Flounders listed. This guy, I love his sense of humor. Let's see. On this day in history, 2002, Jason Priestley. Remember him? He was in Beverly Hills 9060402 704 90210. Jason Priestley on this day, 2002. Jason slammed his race car into a retaining wall at 180 miles an hour during practice for the Indy Racing Infinity Pro Series at the Kentucky Speedway. And this is how Flounders Guy describes what happened. Quote, he broke both of his beautiful feet and suffered a spinal fracture and a head injury, but didn't die, at least not for very long. Jason claims that technically he was dead for several seconds at the hospital, but he did not experience any revelations. He said, quote, as far as I know, there are no white lights. I was there where you're supposed to see them, and I did not. Well, I don't like that story. I wish I hadn't read that part. Erase that. I don't want people to hear that part. I want to know that there's a freaking light. I want to know that you're getting your whole life ahead of you, and then you get like a preview where a freaking angel is saying, okay, you're gonna die here in a second, but we're about to go for a great tour of everything that ever happened and the Big Bang and how God said, let there be the whole everything. Dinosaurs, the first fire. Can you imagine seeing the first guy to discover fire? I mean,
you want to hear something really depressing?
Yeah, I do.
I was watching a documentary.
I was feeling
on
too
Netflix.
good for myself.
Yeah.
I'd rather bring myself down a little bit if you don't mind. Yeah. What do you got?
There's a documentary called Trip to Infinity where they discuss the number infinity and whether it exists in the real world, the universe, right? Is it infinite?
Well, we don't understand infinity.
Well, it says, it's really weird. It says, all the physicists on there say there's one end to all this. The galaxies are moving apart from each other, right? Because it's expanding.
Yeah.
And it's speeding up, right? So in several 100 billion years, they're going to be so far apart from each other. Everything's going to be so far apart from each other, it won't be able to create energy anymore because it's going to be so cold. And basically, everything's just going to die.
Okay, and what's the time limit? When is this?
Hundreds of billions of years, they say.
Oh my!
But when you compare it to infinity, it's a blink of the eye.
Well, you know, isn't it amazing that the two things? The two things that really strike me at the moment are, one, that the horrible truth of our lives is that we all know we're going to die. I mean, animals don't know that, we don't think, but everybody knows we're going to die, and every day you're closer to not having another day, which is a horrible truth to know. I mean, that you're basing on the fact that this is going to be over one day, and secondly, we have absolutely no idea of infinity. We can't, even if it's curved. What's beyond that?
Einstein believes it's a ball. And that basically, if you go so far in one direction, you'll end up coming back from the other side.
Well, but again, then what's on the other side of the other side? See, we can't even explain that.
They say if there's a wall, what's on the other side of the wall?
Right, exactly. And what's the other part of the space dimension? I mean, and if there's several, I mean, we aren't capable, and you have to wonder why. If we're capable of understanding that we're going to die, that this is just a temporary thing, as far as we know, how is it possible that we can't understand the other end of it?
There's more physicists, more and more, saying this, and they used to call them crackpots, but now there's more of them actually saying this, that we are living everything at the same time. Our present, our past, our future, it's all happening, but our mind cannot fathom that, so we think of time as a linear thing, where in truth, we're still 1 year old, we're 80 years old, we're dead, we're not born, we're everything. Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking about was stuff like this. In fact, yesterday I was talking about how I'm sure that if you get well, two things. I was talking about being afraid that I'm never going to get to heaven because I'm such a freaking idiot. When I ruined my whole life like a jerk. But the only good point is that I was a Marine, and Marines get to guard Heaven's Gate. But then I got to thinking: do you think there is actually any kind of a quiz? Let's assume that we believe in some sort of an afterlife, a heaven or so. Do you think there's actually a chart that kept the track of your life? Is there a quiz? Do you have to answer questions or account for yourself? I mean, literally, is there any kind of an entry thing to get into heaven?
Albert Brooks did that great movie. What was it called? Something Your Life or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
And basically, he dies with Meryl Streep. And they have to go in front of Rip Torn and all these, and the angels are judging them. It's a funny movie.
I remember parts of it. This guy had to be 40 years ago or something. Now, do you think there's a thing? I mean, have you thought about that or ever tried to wonder about it?
Yeah, I think there's somebody there. They say you have guardian angels. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think there is somebody that will show up, whether it's a loved one or not, and say, look, this is what's going on here, and we're here to help.
I don't know. And I wonder. Anyway, it was.
You better hope the one that really loved you shows up.
Well, if I get there first, I'm screwed.
We can put in a bad word for it.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my God. Anyway. Oh no. Here. One quick update on the Republican thing before I run out of time in a segment. All right. 341. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Letter Rip Friday. I'd love to hear from you. 404-741-1230. 741-1230 is a phone call. The House Republican Conference Chair, Elise Stefanik, I like this girl. She is outraged. Have you seen the latest photograph linking Hunter Biden and his father on Air Force Two during his trip to Ukraine in 2015? Again, 2015, the year that the special counsel let slip by so Hunter couldn't get charged for the crime for it. Well, the first son was serving on the firm's board of Burisma. And a guy named Amos Hodgstein was President Biden. He is current special presidential coordinator. And he was aboard Air Force Two on his way to meet the Ukrainian leaders in December 2015. And he threatened to withhold $1 billion in U.S. aid if they didn't fire the prosecutor. Remember that? Well, there was a picture of them all together, further proving that Biden and senior officials in the administration not only knew of Hunter Biden's corrupt foreign business dealings, but also that Joe Biden was intimately involved as the vice president. She said all evidence points directly to Joe being deeply compromised. Hunter and his associates at Burisma and his now defunct Rosemont Partners talked about speaking with Hochstein for contacts who could help negotiate and navigate a new tax in Ukraine on private energy companies. And there's pictures of them talking about it on Air Force Two. Oh, he never talked with his son about any business dealings back when this guy Hochstein was the one involved with getting the prosecutor fired. I guess they're talking about the weather. Anyway, to 342. Shoot, can we do the song? Are we flexible on this break? We can go a little. Okay, let's do this. Pete, have you heard about this guy named Oliver Anthony? It's social media is exploding. He's an overnight success with a blue-collar anthem called Rich Men North of Richmond. We're going to play it for you. Here's the story. It's a really bizarre story of faith and trust. Let's see. He's a Virginia factory worker. Lives in Farmville. Let's see. With his dog by his side, this is a song of 1,000. I'm trying to figure out how he started here. He told his story he'd been struggling with his mental health and was drinking to cope with his pain. He said, in depths of despair, about a month ago, Oliver got to his knees and broke down in tears. He decided to get sober, and around 30 days later, his luck turned around when he was asked to record Rich Men North of Richmond for a YouTube. The video went viral. Howerton, this guy you talked to, says there are plans in the work for Oliver to record his first album. The music's now touched so many people, including that of the TV host Laura Ingraham, calls it haunting and commentary on what's happened to America's working class. Well, I'll tell you about some of the words, and you'll hear it here in a moment. He apparently had said... he prayed to God, and he was drinking. He was had nothing going for him. He was really in a bad shape, and he said, God, if you can help me out of this, I swear I'll turn myself around. And 30 days later, all of a sudden, boom, on YouTube, guys are writing in, living in the new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. You're going to hear some of the lyrics, and then we'll talk more about it here in a second. But this is Oliver Anthony with Rich Men North of Richmond, kind of a real down-home country song about the working man blues these days.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't this, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, north the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the whole beast milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't this, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, north of rich men.
As Oliver Anthony, the song is Rich Men. I'm getting emotional. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. In fact, holy cow, did you send this, Flounder? I forgot. Did you text this to me?
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter this morning.
Yeah, and I played this morning, like 7 o'clock this morning, and I started listening to it, and I heard the first 15 or 20 seconds off my phone, which is not real clear audio with my hearing situation and stuff. And I thought, well, it's a real country song. He's talking about the working man blues and stuff. But I didn't really hear the song. Just now, I'm weeping. I've got tears in my eyes. This man fell to his knees. He was not religious. He said, I'm not a religious man. He promised God to get sober if he helped him follow his dream. 30 days later, he's a social media hit, and he's about to become a star with a record contract. 3:48, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, Let It Rip Friday. Unbelievable. The Rhino comes into the studio and calls me a crybaby. You bastard. You and the whole morning crew, you bunch of bastards. No, that's not true. They're beautiful bastards in a good way. Anyway, it's only me, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. This is Kiss. On this day, 1999, Kiss arrived on Hollywood Boulevard to unveil their star on the Walk of Fame. The band had released over 30 albums and sold 80 million records worldwide. What's that there, Flounder?
They didn't have 2,000 stars like the Go-Go.
2,444. Let's give them their due.
Be precise.
I misspoke. I was misinformed. Our birthday list includes the hideous Anna Gunn. I still hate her for being Walter's wife Skylar on Breaking Bad. I'm sure she's a lovely woman. She's 55, and I still hate her for her role as the wife on Breaking Bad. She was also Seth's wife on Deadwood. Martha.
Yeah.
So Anna Gunn's 55, so for the record. And Eric Carmen, the singer, 74, all by myself. Make Me Lose Control. That was a good. I like that. Make Me Lose Control and Hungry Eyes. Yeah, those are all good songs.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I say that because he doesn't sound like really my kind of singer, but I like all three of those songs.
Anyway, you are a crybaby.
I am a crybaby. I was a crybaby as a kid. I swear to God. When I remember going into second grade class when I got my eyeglasses for the first time because I had such terrible vision, and I remember walking into class and sneaking to my desk and opened up my desk and took up my new glasses case, the little snap closed glasses case, and put that in and took my eyeglasses out and put them on and kind of held my head down so nobody would see me. And the teacher said, "Oh, look who's got new glasses!" Oh God! And I started. I hate you. I started crying. Oh, I was bawling like a baby. Oh, it was awful.
I used to hide it in fifth grade when I got them. I used to hide it in my case in my pocket and only pull it out when I really needed it. And the glasses too.
I was a crybaby. I was very emotional. I was very, very shy, and a crybaby. I would cry and still. I mean, I cry. You used to cry at Clydesdale commercials, So anyway, all right. It's 3:53. Kimmer, Flounder, and Pete. It's Let It Rip Friday. Nice to have you with us today. Before I forget, we got a Flounder's Follies coming up here in a second. Also, let me ask a question. I saw this on TV last night, and before I forget, the Rhino did come in. He said that really got you emotionally. I said, yeah. I had tears in my eyes from listening to that song by this guy Oliver. Anyway, and he said the same thing happened to him at the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert. He started bawling when they were doing their thing. I thought, man, that's what he said. I know I can't relate to that, but he said he was weeping like a baby at the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert. Tears just pouring out of it. Probably the pepper spray. I heard this the other night somewhere. I heard this guy Vivek Ramaswamy talking, and he is suggesting that there is a constitutional amendment that should be passed, so that I think his program was to have anybody between the ages of 18 and 24 has to take a test before they're allowed to vote. On the Constitution, on the country, on our, who we are and stuff, just basic test to see whether you really deserve to be able to cast a vote. And I suppose, that's like the old poll tax kind of a deal to prevent certain people from voting.
Anytime they talk about constitutional amendments, it's that, come on, are you serious?
Yeah. But on the other hand, they were talking about they were trying to name the original 13 colonies. Can you name the original 13 colonies?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear them.
Well, the 13 colonies.
Oh,
colonies and they
by
were
name, yeah.
Okay.
Never mind that now.
New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. Yeah. I imagine Rhode Island was one of them. Connecticut, Virginia. So what we got? But 6 right now. Yeah. The Carolina was one. Was there a north and south? I think there was a north and south at the time.
All right, that's 8 if you were counting both of those.
7 or 8. Or Georgia, of course.
9.
Georgia was, of course. Was Delaware a state at that point?
We'll give you that one as a guess. 10.
All right, and we had how many? 13.
Yeah.
Well, it's New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. That's what did we say? 11. Are you at 11 now?
Yep.
Or 12.
No, you're at 11. Nice try. You bastard. I guarantee the one that you will not think of, and the same thing I got caught on too, actually 2 of them that I just didn't think of. were. Maine was not an original colony, and Vermont was not an original colony either, which also surprised me. The two that I forgot were Maryland and New Jersey.
Yeah, Maryland, New Jersey.
How come you never think of New Jersey as a colony? Because you think of the wilderness, and you think of New Jersey as stinkpot, the interstate city.
Actually, a large part of New Jersey is farmland.
Yeah, I know, and they have a lot of bear problems. And yeah, very, very rural in certain parts of it. Anyway, Connecticut, Delaware, and the other one was Delaware. People don't remember about Delaware and Rhode Island.
I remember Delaware. Remember the Delaware.
I remember the Delaware.
I remember the Alamo too.
There you go. Anyway, but I got to thinking. I actually couldn't remember a couple of them. I forgot.
Well, no one ever thinks about Maryland.
Yeah,
it's such a weird state.
And it's actually pretty important because of its, logistics next to D.C.
You know what's funny? I was saying that on Wednesday I drove up, and 30 minutes away I'm in North Carolina, and I'm thinking this part of North Carolina here, right north of me, has absolutely nothing in common with the Outer Banks. That it's the same state.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that. Flounder, have we got time for a Flounder's Funnies, or did I go too late here? Let's do a little Flounder's Funnies. Then coming up, the story of the autistic girl screaming and crying as the police haul her away. But first, a little something from Flounder's Funnies.
Here's some of my favorite Nate Bargatze.
I like it. Yeah, Leighton Bargatze.
Marriage fights are great because they're all very dumb. I would say 90% of them are dumb. 10% the cops show up. But we got in a fight once over chocolate milk. We didn't talk for 24 hours. What happened is I brought chocolate milk home, and she was like, "Why did you bring it home?" And I was like, "You're supposed to drink it after you work out." She was like, "That's not true." And I was like, "Well, there's a commercial on TV. They probably looked into it more than you did." So I decided to listen to them. And she said, "That's just the milk people pushing chocolate milk." And I was like, "You don't even know what that statement means. You don't know if there's milk people." And I think chocolate milk's doing fine. I don't think they're sitting on barrels of it. And they're like, "We got to make up a lie. We got to get rid of this chocolate milk." She went to college, all right, and I did not. But she did not study chocolate milk. When is it good and not good for you? To be fair to her, though, I do not work out. So, but I was probably going to start, and I needed to get all this stuff there.
Yeah, you can go as long as you want with this. And Nate Bargatze or Bagat, I used to get him on satellite radio, but I canceled the comedy because they started charging $1 million for it.
Yeah, they're now charging for upcharging per channel.
I know, it's crap. Anyway, but again, I love this guy because he's better than Seinfeld at the what do you think about this kind of humor? Or you believe, what happened to me at the store kind of. I mean, it's just, and the stories with his wife, I mean, every one of them is just crack you up. It's just, and how clever is it that he thinks of these silly little things that have no meaning. Chocolate milk. And that's a great 2-minute bit. Anyway, so we got more of this stuff like that coming up here. Also, we'll talk with... I talked with Pete about me trying to get the picture of the Ole Miss volleyball girls. And by the way, if you haven't seen that, you may want to Google that because we'll be talking about it shortly. Coming up on 4 o'clock here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on Let It Rip Friday. I will be right back. Look out. 403, how's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder. Let it rip Friday. With Ray Parker Jr. 1984. Ghostbusters. Ray Parker Jr. started a 3-week run at number 1 on the singles chart with the theme from Ghostbusters. Parker had been a session guitar player for Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye, and then he was accused of plagiarizing the melody from Huey Lewis and the News song, I Want a New Drug. So Huey Lewis sued him, and they settled out of court in 1985. But again, I can hear, in fact, is it worth playing a little bit of I Want a New Drug? Dum-dum-da-da-dum-dum. You got the theme in your head here, and now Flounder's going to get Huey Lewis and the News, Want a New Drug. I saw them. Well, now I had to think about my final wife. During the Olympics, she dragged me down to go see Huey Lewis down at the Olympic thing.
Yeah, they were playing the Warehouse District,
yeah.
And I walked around a corner, and there's Huey Lewis and the News up on a little stage. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. I've gone home to work, after work, and all the way back to Alpharetta, and then I had to drive all the way back down that night to go see Huey Lewis and the News. Anyway, now is this Huey Lewis? Yeah, that sounds like the same thing. That's the same theme.
It's only 8.
Huh?
There's only 8
notes. Yeah, I know. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. I know it. Quick birthday. Chris Hemsworth is 40. Thor in the Marvel cinematic thing. Chris Hemsworth. And Hulk Hogan is 70 years old today. So there you go, Hulkster.
Did you know that Hulk Hogan is from Augusta, Georgia?
If I did know, I forgot. And I think I remembered he was a Georgia boy, perhaps, but I did not know that.
Although I don't agree with you when you call Augusta the armpit of Georgia.
No, whoa. No one's ever said that. Augusta used to be a nice little town. No, I'm sure it's a wonderful town. It's a bad place to be. I'm sorry. No, it's a wonderful place. Coming up, by the way, we're going to find out whether we're all hillbillies. Coming up in a second. I want to talk about this autistic girl in a second in Britain. I think this and got a lot of Twitter reaction on it. I'm sorry. I got a lot of X reaction. I still say tweets or Twitter because I don't really do much of either one of them really. But now you're supposed to call it Xing, I guess. Did you go on X? Anyway, but first of all, Pete, tell the story. Before we getting ready for the show today, Pete wanted to let me know about a certain photograph, which he thought was interesting. So tell me what start the story on what you told me about and what you did.
Somebody sent me what looks like the team photo of the Ole Miss women's volleyball team. Mm-hmm. And you talk about 8, 9s, and 10s, and they're athletic as well on top of that. They're beautiful. And in the front row, you got 3 pairs of them sitting in each other's laps, arms and legs intertwined, hugging each other. Yeah. And it's like, yowza.
When Pete said that he described this, he's on the phone describing the picture and said, yes, what for pop? And he said, hold on, I'll send it to you. Okay, so now I'm on the phone, on my phone, and Pete says, I'm sending you the picture now. And it's coming to you now, and sure enough, I think I get a little message that their picture's there. So now I'm looking at my phone looking at Pete's phone call, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I scroll up, I'm probably going to cut off the phone, but I want to get the picture. So I think I scrolled to I don't remember how I scrolled somewhere. The phone thing disappeared. I saw the picture. I went back down to the phone, and it was gone. I cut him off. And I'm so how the hell do you be on the phone, and someone sends you a picture, and then you look at the picture without cutting off the freaking phone call?
First of all, you get yourself an American phone, not a Slovakian one.
It's an American, like an i10 or something. I mean, it's unfreaking believable. I mean, and it's an ATT thing, and it's the phone. It's the iPhone.
All you do is hit. Well, you don't have the button anymore, do you?
Oh,
you don't have the magic button.
Well, so I got to get a new phone now. Unbelievable. Yes. I hope I got I can't read that name. It's
Sluggo.
Sluggo. Oh, my God. I wonder if it's our Sluggo. Hold on a second.
Kimmer.
Sluggo, how's it going?
Kimmer, I'm well. How are you?
Well, I'm on the right side of the glass. This is our Sluggo, our old boss Sluggo, right?
It is.
I'll be damned. I just saw you on... there you go. Hey, Pete, it's Sluggo.
Hey, I met Clay Travis last night. Nice guy.
He is a nice guy. We had him on the show after he got done with his show yesterday for a few minutes. A really nice man. Great parent. He did a wonderful job of disciplining his kid about not doing his homework and threatened to take away his phone right before we went on the air. I was very impressed with the man. Very impressive. Yeah.
And he's a pretty sharp guy too. He's written a good book. He talked about it. I haven't read it yet. But,
yeah.
Hey, look. What's going on at Disney? For God's sake, I thought Iger was brought back in there to clean out this woke stuff.
What's the latest?
Well, there's a movie in production. I understand it's about I don't know. It's about a transgressive whale. A whale that's going through trans, and they're titling it Maybe Dick.
Ho, hi-oh, ho. Oh, I got kind of a long way around there for that one, Sluggo. I don't know. What's wrong with Disney? I thought, well, okay, I'll fall for it. Hey, by the way, tell the little people for the record, I'm the guy who came up with the phrase, the news monster. And then you're the son of a bitch who actually copyrighted it in your name.
You want me, after you call me an SOB, you want me to validate this? Well, first of all, here's the credit I'll give. We did refer to ourselves as a news monster before you came to work for us. However, you ingrained it into the listener's mind.
You never said the news monster. In fact, I used it on the radio station years before I came to WGST with you on the 3-letter call letter station. I used to use it on my afternoon show back years before I got to you guys. But anyway, for the record,
boys, let's not bicker and argue. Who killed who?
I don't know.
Now that you're on a flamethrower signal.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's why we have the app, thank God. In fact, Sluggo, if you got a couple of minutes, tell us. Of course, Sluggo was our radio boss. He's a very well respected and well known radio program guy, management guy. So I mean, you've been doing this for decades and decades, like most of us guys my age. You're much younger than I am, anyway. But anyway, give us a state of what's going on with media, wokeness, radio in particular, mass media compared to cell phone, social media stuff. What the hell's going on with our mass communications these days?
It's a whole different world, Kimmer. Once the internet came online in the 90s and was universally adopted, it's a different world. It's not the news media that you and I worked in originally. And you have to, in order to get an idea of what's really going on, you're forced to go to a lot of different sources online.
Yeah.
To just filter through all the information and come up with the facts that make sense to you.
Yeah. Well, I've said the cell phone is yesterday's cigarettes. There are so many things that, I mean, that to me is a perfect analogy because it's, I mean, we all love smoking cigarettes, but oh my God. And then, I mean, it gives every 9-year-old girl anywhere around the country an excuse to be complaining about something that's none of her stinking business, but she saw it on her phone. I mean, and everything explodes, a whole social media explosion. So that's why nobody's putting it, the old-fashioned radio days are, we're one of the few still around trying to do good old-fashioned old American radio stuff. And it feels like we're alone in the wilderness all of a sudden. I can't believe it.
Yeah. But, it was when the smartphones were just coming online. Eric Schmidt, who ran Google at the time, held one up and he said, this is going to have your full life.
Yeah.
Your life will be in this.
Yeah.
And he was right.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a satellite television station. You can talk live to anybody in the world and see their picture while you're doing it. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. It is unbelievable. And I think, how old are your grandchildren now?
Let's see. 9, 12, and 16, I believe.
Okay. And mine are 10 and 8. This technology you and I are using today will be basic to them, primitive.
Oh, it already.
What's coming? It's coming.
Yeah. I can't. I know I can't keep up. It's already over my head, and I'm fighting it. Honestly, I'm trying to be modern. I can't. It's over. I'm giving up.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
So is Is Pete being a good boy?
Pete's a wonderful guy. I wouldn't do the show without Pete and Flounder and Pete Davis, one of the great sidekicks and friends, and thank God I would do anything for these guys, and I know they would do almost not that much for me, but we are a great team and we get along great. I wouldn't do it without them. They're just terrific.
I saw a poster with both your pictures on it last night. Scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I saw it's like
too.
8 feet tall.
Me too.
I went up to look at it closer, and I was counting hairs on your head. I only needed one hand.
Well, yeah, you don't need much anymore. And again, I don't care about that anymore either.
I know. Mine has disappeared too. So, or I grew through it. I think I grew right through it.
It's all good. Well, you can't grow hair on steel. That's all I say. Sluggo, great to talk to you. Hi to everybody. God bless America. Say hi to all your radio buddies and keep in touch. One of these days, we'll all have a drink together or something. All righty?
Okay. You guys take care.
All right, man. Sluggo right there. Great to have aboard. 414 here with the Kimmer Pete Flounder on 106.3. Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder 418 with Led Zeppelin. Dun, dun, dun. This was the day in 1979. Led Zeppelin played their last ever British show at some Nebward House, whatever that is. They played The Song Remains the Same, Celebration Day, Black Dog. Is there anybody going to sing in this? Or is it dun, 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 dun? Hell, I could have done that. And I could have been Led Zeppelin and make $1 million instead of here working with you. No. Dun, 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 dun. My God, what is that, one chord?
No. This is a loop.
Oh, my God. I mean, this is it forever?
Yeah, it's a loop.
Oh, my God. Black Dog, Nobody's Fault But Mine, Over the Hills and Far Away, Misty Mountain Hop, Since I've Been Loving You, No Quarter, Hot Dog, Rain Song, something, da-da-da-da. And so this is it. This is the worst. How would you possibly want to play this?
Well, the reason they do this a lot in radio is because they take the lyrics out. That way you're not talking over it.
Yeah, but there's nothing. I mean, it's the same repetitive. It's like Chinese water torture. My God. Gee, riding through the desert with a horse and no name. Oh, my God. Anyway, 419. Sad news on this day 9 years ago, 2014. Robin Williams hanged himself. He was 63 and was struggling with a form of dementia called Lewy body disease when he took his own life 9 years ago. Robin Williams. Shame, what a talented guy. Let's see, a quick birthday. Joe Jackson is 69. Oh, here's Flounder's guy on the history and birthday list. Flounder's guy writes, Joe Jackson is 69. That would be the singer who did Steppin' Out, not the guy who turned Michael Jackson into a plastic surgery-addicted junkie who didn't live to see his 51st birthday. Please don't get them confused. Wow, yeah, sir, I'm sorry. It was just, okay, take it easy. Everything's going to be fine later. Let's see. By the way, congratulations. Neil Bortz married 50 years. Today is what I think it might have been yesterday, but 50 years he's on his commentary today. And that's fantastic. My folks were married for 65.
I like the fact you mentioned Kurt Bennett. I hadn't thought of Kurt Bennett in so long, the former Flames defenseman.
Yeah. Again, isn't it funny? Every once in a while there's a mention of the Flames hockey team.
I love the Flames.
Yeah.
God, I love that team.
Boom, boom, Jean-Friand. Let's go up Detroit City there one time, share.
Yeah. Phil Muir and Dan Bouchard, the best goaltending tandem in the NHL at the time. Unbelievable.
Got to love it. 420. I don't know if you've heard this story about this autistic girl in the United Kingdom, teenage girl. And she made a remark that a female police officer thought should have gotten her arrested. The autistic girl was, well, she had, it's kind of, the story they wrote about this really in terrible shape. The girl was a teenage girl, and she was being arrested. Her mother said, wait a minute, well, what happened? She's getting arrested. The woman police officer said she's getting arrested, and the mother said she's autistic, and the cop girl said, I don't care. Apparently, the autistic girl was hitting herself in the head. The mother pleaded with police to maintain their distance. She's in her cupboard. She can't go anywhere, said the mom, explaining her child was being triggered into a mental health crisis by direct contact by the policewoman. She explained that the child's nana is a lesbian and married to a woman. The little girl had seen the woman police officer and said, gee, she looks like my nana who's a lesbian. And so she said the girl's nana's a lesbian, married to a woman, and the mom said, so go away, leave my kid alone. The cop said, mom said, she's not homophobic, go away from my teenage daughter. And she told the cop, there's something wrong with you. The police had brought the girl home after a relative contacted them saying she may have been drunk. Upon turning to her address, the comments were made that resulted in the girl being arrested on suspicion of a homophobic public order offense. The nature of the comments made the fully captured body cam video go viral. A complaint regarding it was referred to their professional standards department. The cops say, well, we maintain our officers and staff should not have to face abuse while let me say this again. Our officers and staff should not have to face abuse while working to keep our communities safe. The mother had a different take on the matter. This is what the police do when dealing with autistic children. My daughter said, gee, the police officer looked like her Nana, who's a lesbian. The officer obviously took it the wrong way and said it was a homophobic comment. It wasn't. The officer then entered my home and assaulted me. My daughter was having panic attacks from being touched by them, and they're still continuing to manhandle her. Holy criminy. And this female we're going to read you some reaction on Twitter or X or whatever they're freaking calling it now. But apparently these police officers were trained by the Federal Gestapo of Investigation from Atlanta with the open Führer Chris the Cossack Ray, the suspected Russian agent, had all his albino secret assassination squad apparently trained the British police on how to deal with children when they're freaking autistic. I mean, some of the people are saying, oh my God, this cop should not be on the job. Fire her. If she can't take somebody saying she looks like a lesbian, she clearly isn't strong enough or has the right temperament to be a cop. She also clearly has a lack of understanding around neurodivergent people and should be sacked. By the way, this one woman on social media said, look what happens when it comes up in Wikipedia under the word lesbian. And it's a picture of that cop. How funny is that?
Hey, Kimmer,
yeah.
We're all equal. Some of us are more equal than others.
Than others, apparently. Should this LGBTQ plus cop be arrested and charged with child abuse? She's responsible for dragging a 16-year-old autistic girl out of her house and dragging her across the street. She arrested the girl because she said the officer looked like her nanny, who was a lesbian. On the plus side, someone said, if your house gets burgled, you can always just open a window and shout, lesbian! You'll have cops there in a minute. Wouldn't it be a shame if we get lesbian Nana trending on X or Twitter? Don't do it. It might hurt this officer's feelings. Yeah, whatever you do, don't share this cop's picture calling her a lesbian because it might hurt her so bad she'll send her colleagues to arrest you. And by the way, someone said, can someone enlighten me, please, on why saying the word lesbian is hate speech? It's sad, though, irrelevant. The girl who said the West Cop police officer looks like a lesbian is autistic. The fact is, any police officer who made a forcible arrest for a comment made about their appearance should not be serving as a police officer.
But it's against the law.
Against the law in Britain as a homophobic public comment.
Yeah.
And the autistic girl, I don't care whether she's autistic. And by the way, there's a whole other series of tweets, which I don't have to read to. People started writing and saying, my God, she's a spitting image of Conan O'Brien. and then all Conan O'Brien's fan club started, no, wait a minute now. But this has become a whole thing. I mean, come on.
They don't have a First Amendment, so they
don't.
You're not protected.
Yeah, isn't it funny that the breakaway colonialists and the rebels, us American colonialists, are the ones who came up with a more equal and a superior way to live your life as a country? Kind of cool. Should we do the Neo? Oh, I know what you want to do. The Bill Maher story. Do we have that soundbite? Bill Maher the other day, I was talking about wokeness, was speaking with a very, very prestigious and suddenly a lot in the media these days, Jordan Peterson, talking about what in the heck is going on these days, speaking of wokeness and idiocy.
The theme I've been trying to promulgate as much as I can the last 5 years, partly just in self-defense of people who say I've changed, I have not, is that wokeness is not something that expands on liberalism. It's something that undoes it, and I think you are on the same page generally. I mean, to give a few examples, color blindness, wanting to have a colorblind society where we don't see race is classic liberalism. Mm-hmm. Certainly what Obama was going for. That's not wokeism. Wokeism is race is front and center to everything.
Mm-hmm. So that's part of that. So that, to me, that's an extension of the insistence that someone's primary identity is signified by their group.
Right. Which is exactly what old school liberals were fighting against. Don't characterize somebody by that. Okay, so they completely invert it, and then they get mad at us for somehow we're conservatives now. No, we're not conservatives. You're just not what liberals are. You're doing a different thing, which is fine. We're all allowed to do our thing, but you can't do this whole different thing and then take the term that used to apply but doesn't apply anymore. I mean, there's many colleges that have segregated dorms. Mm-hmm. Okay. Again, you do.
And graduation ceremonies.
Yes, you do you, but this is not liberalism. Okay?
There's a huge difference. Liberals used to stand for freedom of speech. Not anymore. By the way, Pete Davis, have we got time for your hillbilly quiz?
Probably not, tell you the truth.
All right, well, we've got a little bit left up. Well, you don't have to worry about that. How about a nice animal story?
A nice animal story? Well, yeah, we got a nice animal story. You ready for it?
We're ready for a nice animal story with Claude Justo.
If I go long, I don't want to hear that damn music.
No, we go as long as you want.
Peggy Jones was having what you may call a bad day.
All right.
She's 64 years old, lives in Texas. She was on her tractor innocently mowing her lawn in Silsbee, Texas, when all of a sudden from the sky, a snake lands on her arm and wraps itself around her like a miniature boa constrictor. Mm-hmm. All right. The snake was squeezing so hard, and I'm waving my arms in the air, and then a hawk swooped down and started clawing at my arm trying to get the snake. So I'm yelling, "Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jesus!" The hawk landed on her 4 times to get the snake, which it had dropped. It had caught the snake and unfortunately had dropped it on top of the woman. So her, if you see the photos, her right arm is completely torn apart.
Well, the hawk, flew down to get his snake. And, hey, lady, you got my snake. And he's hacking her arm, and she's screaming for her husband or something. Oh, my God.
She thought, now her husband came running out and thought she had been bitten by the serpent, but it had not bitten her, thank God, because it was just holding on to her so tightly it bruised her arm.
That's unbelievable. He wrapped himself around her arm?
Which is what took the hawk 4 times to pull it off of that. So afterwards, she discovered her glasses were broken. She picked them up, and on the lens, there was a liquid on it. It turned out to be snake venom.
Oh, my God. It was a poisonous snake.
It was a poisonous snake. And by the way, it's not the first time she's had this. She was bitten by a poisonous snake a few years ago. So the snakes are out after something. And an animal expert says, now, look, this is not something we need to start worrying about.
Unless you live near her.
Well, she says she's already been back on the tractor, but she made her husband walk beside her while she did it to keep an eye out for the flying snakes.
Maybe have her husband mow the lawn. Maybe she just likes doing it. What a great story. 4:30, we got all kinds of stuff coming up. Let It Rip Friday here with Pete Kipper and Flounder. Look out. .431 is on the Kimmer. How's it going? Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Let It Rip Friday if you'd like to give us a buzz, and we're on YouTube and stuff like that, too. A word for our sponsor at Atlanta Safe House. I was having a little fun just a minute ago during the break. I was looking up their website, atlantasafehouse.com. Did you know you can also get a family storm shelter at Atlanta Safe House? Talk about staying safe. Not only your stuff, lock up your assets, protect your assets, and lock them up. Your paperwork, your medical records, your kids' school, back to school type medical records, your marriage or divorce papers and legal things, your will, all that kind of stuff. Lock it up and protect your assets at Atlanta Safe House, including your family. Check it out. Go to their website, atlantasafehouse.com. You can kind of look through all the stuff there. They have actually make you a family storm shelter. I was looking over some of the handgun safes and so forth. These are really a great idea, especially if you're a new gun owner and there's some concern about safety in your house. Those handgun safes, they're not great big 8-foot type safe. They're very compact and they do exactly what you want them to do. And that's, by the way, if you go into those little box stores, safes are not those little plastic things with a little teeny key in them. That is not a safe. They have business safes, jewelry safes, gun safes, high security safes, vault doors. You feel like a banker in there if you want. They've got them all. I bought 2 myself. They can actually also deliver it and install it. They can bolt it into your concrete floor in the basement of your garage if you want them to. Whatever you're looking for. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Check out what they can offer right now. Go to the website, atlantasafehouse.com. liar and a fraud and tried to let Hunter Biden get away with all kinds of crimes. So now the guy who tried to get Hunter Biden away with all kinds of crimes is now the special counsel to investigate the entire Hunter Biden and Biden family incident. Thank God the person of the year, person of the decade, U.S. District Court Judge Mary Ellen Noriega refused to allow the scumbag agreement to go through to help Hunter get away with all his crimes. And now the guy who helped him get away with tried to get away with all the crimes, David Weiss, is now the special counsel. And by the way, even Jim Jordan, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, says he can't be trusted. This is a new way to whitewash the Biden family's corruption. He already signed off on that sweetheart deal. It was so awful and unfair, the federal judge had to reject it. So again, here we go. But at least it's a step. And by the way, the only good news is Congress has nothing to do with this. Congress can keep investigating all they want as long as Republicans are in control. No thanks to Georgia. But again, Congress is still independent. This is just another example of how the Bidens are going to get away with something. All right, to the phones. Here's Frederick with a gang here at 106.3. Frederick, thanks for calling. Welcome aboard. You're on the radio.
How's it going? Good afternoon, Kimmer.
Yep.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I was calling in about the conservatives and the liberals.
Yeah.
I'm seeing more conservatives turn liberal because they're not having anything to conserve. I'm in L.A., and they're striking like crazy. The city's on strike, the actors are on strike, the writers are on strike, and they don't have, like, any of the money they thought they would have had to last out a strike.
Did you say you are in? Did you say you're you're in Los Angeles?
Yes.
Wow, cool. Well, now on the other hand, where's this? If they had such good unions, where's the union taking care of them with union money? Aren't they supposed to give union pay to help them survive and pay their rents and stuff when they're on strike? What happened to the unions?
The unions are out there. They're supporting them. They're supporting them.
Not with money.
That we're not going to take the contracts they're trying to offer. We're taking to the street.
Right. Well, I understand. I think the major issue has got to be the artificial intelligence taking their possibly using them to take their jobs and so forth. I understand that. Yeah, but still, but my point is this: when you're a member of a union, they're supposed to have some strike funds, so that if you do go on strike, the union says, "Here, we're going to pay you guys a few $100 a week to make sure you at least pay part of your mortgage, so you can survive and pay your family." If they don't have any kind of strike fund, boy, that's not. When I was forced to be in a union 40 years ago. That was a major issue. And if they're not taking care of them, then whether they're fighting for them or not, if they're going to go broke. Again, that's the thing, Frederick. Unions almost never win unless, the very rare circumstances where the company's over a barrel. But the more they drag it out, the more money you're going to lose. You'll never make it up.
No, UPS just won a big union fight in Louisville. Oh,
and by the way, Frederick, did you hear them? I heard the morning guys talking about this today. The UPS drivers are now making something like $140,000 a year. What? Can you believe that?
That comes with cost of living raises and being on a job for a long time. They only get 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours at the most a day of work, so they have to implement their pay to where it compensates them for the hours they work, because they don't want people out there on the ramps working a long time. But I'm talking about the system of capitalism. Yeah. You see how corporations take the profit and invest in other business, and it never trickles down like the Republicans think they are.
Well, it always trickles down. They have jobs. They give jobs to people. What do you call it? That's trickle down.
They pay the minimum. And pretty soon AI is going to take those jobs because they're not using the money, or unions wouldn't have the wiggle room to make them negotiate if they were playing fair to begin with.
Not everybody who goes to get a job is making minimum wage. That's not true. I mean, you can't make a blanket statement like that.
No. Majority of people are not making minimum wage, but they're not making what the CEO's bonuses are. These companies are investing in real estate, buying houses and raising the rent on the workers that work at these corporations.
Oh, my God. Well, okay, the people who own the company are going to make a lot more money than the people who work for the company. I mean, that's capitalism. That's as it should be. That means you and I have the right to say, "Oh my God, I want to be one of those guys." The more I stay in school, the better I do. The more I want to be one of those guys.
Horse crap.
What's that?
How do corporations make more money for the stockholders, the people that's not working? That's who holds the majority of the money.
The way they make the money is to have someone like Donald Trump become president and make the economy the best it's ever been for black people and women and Spanish people and Cuban people and Mexican people. The best economy this country's ever had was under Donald Trump, because he believed in letting people get get as high as they can get to work to their job performances.
Okay, let's say the best and the worst economy we ever had was under Donald Trump.
No, the worst economy is under this one right now. I paid $4.70 for gasoline a gallon.
Right now, unemployment right now from when Donald Trump left office is way lower.
Oh my.
Okay. Do you disagree?
Oh, come on, Frederick. You're killing me.
Yeah. Unemployment when Donald Trump left office, the government was shut down.
Well, that was because of the China virus killing people. Nobody was doing anything. But up until that one point, and by the way, that's lasted under the Biden administration now, and even worse. And they were all in cahoots about it. I don't trust any of those people in the medical community now.
You got to wake up. You got to wake up.
I'll do better. All right, Frederick, I enjoyed talking with you. Have a great weekend, and call anytime. We'll look for you next week. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much. Well, that's the way it ought to be. But again, and he will. His original comment was. Did you remember? His original comment was. He said more and more people who are liberal. More and more people who are conservative are becoming liberal because of the economy and not being able to make the living. He says more conservatives are becoming liberal because of the economy. Because they can't, get. Isn't that kind of the opposite? Because we have a liberal who's done this to our economy. Anyway, I don't know. Am I wrong?
Letting people go back to work after you told them they couldn't work is not creating jobs.
Yeah. And like what you said yesterday, we're so glad that this economy is so good that now people are able to do it, to make 2 or 3 jobs to try to make their living instead of just one.
Americans have twice as many jobs as they did 3 years ago.
You see, it's working after all. 4:45, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. Here we go. she was hot as a blazer. So tell me about it. What's the deal?
Well, basically, she's crazy, and the crazier she got, the more turned on I got, which is really weird.
Not so, yeah.
But her name is Tiffany Gomas, and she lives in Dallas, Texas, I believe. And the Daily Mail caught up with her. It's the first time she said anything, but basically she didn't say anything or clarify why she said it. They just talked about how she's got money and the clothes she wears and the purse she carries, and they really didn't say anything from her. And basically, she still looks hot. Basically saying, what she says. She goes, my life has been blown up. It's frightening. Things go viral and everything changes. No one knows anyone else's story. No one should judge. No one knows what it's like. They're staking out my house. Who are they? They're staking out my neighbors. They're going through my mail. So much of what's out there is inaccurate, but she doesn't say exactly what the hell she was talking about.
Yeah. Is she well? Is she, talk to her neighbor? Is she married? Or do we know what, is she got a psychology problem or psychosis or a personality disorder?
They got photos of her at her door. She's smiling. She seems happy and everything. And at one point she had longer hair, but in fact, she had her hair back in a bun behind her, so she has long hair.
Yeah, we have to change that.
When you pull the hair back, the whole face is shown how beautiful they are.
Well, you got to get rid of that.
That's why you pull the hair back.
Well, no,
you don't see the face.
It's a great punchline. I'm not going to say right here.
No, do not.
Thank you. So it's still a mystery. She hasn't explained about what's that?
Her name's Tiffany.
Tiffany, ours just walked by. Our work wife, Tiffany. Anyway, I don't get it. But I'm still amazed she hasn't talked about. And by the way, where was the guy? Nobody ever identified the guy.
The best thing is the oil painting, which we talked about yesterday. I don't know if anyone's seen it. There's an oil painting of her on the plane pointing, and that shows the other part of the plane. And you got Bigfoot, Sasquatch, a Yeti, an alien, you all kinds of mythological creatures.
Anyway, it's pretty funny. By the way, an update on this economy thing with our friend Frederick from the more liberal standpoint. President White Trash has now admitted that the Inflation Reduction Act had nothing to do with inflation reduction. President Showers with daughter said, I wish I hadn't called it that. It has less to do with reducing inflation than it does providing for alternatives that generate economic growth. And so we're now in a situation where if you take a look at what we're doing in the Inflation Reduction Act, we're literally reducing the cost of people being able to meet their basic needs. Even when there is inflation, there is a way to provide breathing room, like regulating medical prices. He said the Inflation Reduction Act is the strongest bill you can pass. It'll lower inflation, cut the deficit, reduce health care costs, and tackle the climate crisis and promote energy security. That's what he said originally when they passed the bill. And now it was all a lie. We all knew it was a lie. And by the way, as Pete, you well know, we saw the numbers of the economy and the prices of everything going up yesterday, watching it directly when it was feeding down off the TV screen. And now the Al Jazeera Constipation has a big article saying, inflation remained a tame 0.2% thanks to easing prices for such items as groceries, used vehicles, and electronics. Prices are moving in the right direction now. Oh, my God. Right direction, my butt. They say, well, eggs, meat, beer, dairy products are all declining in price. No, they're not.
It's complete gaslighting is what it is.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let me put on my.
In a few places, it is going down. It's pennies. We're talking pennies.
Well, yeah. Again, it's not like changing the economy. The Fed faces a daunting problem: inflation pressures in businesses like restaurants, hotels, where wages are a substantial share of the cost, but worker shortages means that workers are demanding higher prices, and they're not keeping up with the inflation. So even if inflation's going down a little, they're still not making anywhere near as much as they need to take away with it. And the Democrats are to blame for this, and yet they're now the article says gasoline prices, although liable to bounce around, have plunged from a peak more than $5 a gallon because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The reason everything still just has nothing to do with Russia as much as it has to do with the Russian people running a government in America. The Biden crime family.
He canceled Keystone Pipeline the day he entered office.
And they told me to take up coding. Yeah, there you go.
Which is another reason we're having all these train derailments everywhere and this bad stuff leaking out because we don't use safe pipelines like Keystone.
Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Here we go again. Let's do a little comment. We got another Flounders funny, Mr. Flounder?
I got to reboot this, so we'll do it when we come back.
We'll do it when we come back. Pete, how about a hillbilly test? We got a few minutes.
You want the hillbilly test?
Yeah, you want to try that? We'll try that.
Yeah, we'll try that. There. Okay, you got a pen and a paper?
I do.
All right, I'm glad you do because we have to find. Here we go. Okay,
hey,
all right. See, I live with some hillbillies up here, which is fine. It's a lovely.
Mountains of Macon, yeah.
Mountains of Macon. Yeah. All right. So you give yourself a point for every one of these things you've done.
Okay.
Have you owned a pellet gun?
Okay. Yep.
Owned a real gun?
Yep.
Shot a gun?
Yep.
Gone squirrel or rabbit hunting?
Specifically squirrel or rabbit hunting? No, I have not.
Gone fishing?
Oh, yeah.
Owned or used a slingshot?
Yeah. Made them, too.
Plucked a chicken?
I've never plucked a chicken.
Gathered wild ginseng?
I wouldn't know ginseng root from, Adam's house cat.
It's a big product up here. It's right underneath meth.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever eaten deer meat?
Oh, yeah. Venison.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, it's not. It's kind of gamey. It really isn't.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And everyone says, you haven't had mine. Yeah, I have.
No, yeah, we've had it, yeah.
It's like sweet potatoes. I've had it.
No, don't thank you. No.
Have you eaten frog legs?
No.
Have you fed a baby animal with a bottle?
Yes.
Have you gathered fresh eggs?
Yeah.
Have you driven a stick shift?
In fact, we got whipped by my grandfather Peterson with his belt, with his razor strop, because we broke all the eggs in the hen house when visiting when I was about 4 years old. And my father comes around the corner, he's beating the crap out of us with his big razor strop. He broke all the eggs. I'm so sorry, Grandpa. I'm sorry, you were saying. What was the one after the
stick shift?
Oh, yeah, thank God.
Started a vehicle using the manual choke.
Absolutely. Yep.
Volkswagens, yeah. Rode in the back of a pickup truck.
Absolutely.
Yep. Shucked corn.
Yep.
Waded barefoot in a creek.
Yep.
Caught lightning bugs in a jar.
Absolutely. Fireflies. Yeah.
Now, here's one I know you haven't done. Tasted wild honeysuckle.
I have not. I've seen it. I've not tasted. I've never tasted wild honeysuckle.
I'm going to have to bring some in one day and have
never
you do
tasted
that.
it.
Picked wild blackberries.
Oh, yes.
It's funny. That's what I've been doing lately.
Yeah.
Used an outhouse.
Yep.
Ridden a horse.
Yep.
Smelled the scent of cured tobacco hanging in a tobacco barn.
I have not. I've not done that.
Taken the ashes out of wood stove.
Yep.
All right. Carried wood.
Yep.
Walked barefoot down a gravel dirt road.
Oh, I know I have. We're as kids, absolutely.
Slept in a tent.
Yep. Many times.
Been attacked by a rooster.
I have been attacked by a rooster. Chased me around in my grandfather's house.
Bust my eggs, will you?
There you go.
Eating a raw apple, potato, or turnip off the blade of a pocket knife.
Oh, absolutely. That's how you cut an apple, with a pocket knife. Absolutely.
That's right. Dipped skull or chewing tobacco, or had it applied to a bee sting.
Neither one.
I've had it applied to a bee sting.
I beg your pardon. I did. I on a bet I did it once with one of my golfing buddies. I put time and I said, "Oh my God, I got it out of my mouth as fast as I could."
Yeah. It is disgusting, but it does work on a bee sting. It does do that.
That's just true. Yeah.
You've eaten homemade snow ice cream.
Oh yes.
Used a pump to draw water from a well.
Yep.
Been on a hayride.
Yep.
Jumped on a pile of raked leaves.
Yep.
Carved your initials in a tree.
Yep.
Sucked on water hose to siphon gas.
Yes, I have.
Been shocked by an electric fence.
Yep.
Split wood with an axe.
Yep.
Hung laundry outside on the clothesline.
Yep, with my mother.
And finally eaten fried bologna.
Yeah, absolutely. Bologna, by the way.
How many numbers you have? We'll count them when you come back.
All right, well, here we go. 5 o'clock. Holy crap, a sports coming up, too. Look out. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog. Targets. Road guards out. Want to hear them sucking wind. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. 504 with a Pete Davis and Flounder at the controls and have a little Let It Rip Friday. Here's a phone number if you want to join us. Area 404-741-1230. 741-1230. We are on Rumble and YouTube. And, of course, a big newsy story, of course, is what you just heard a minute ago about the so-called special counsel, which I think is going to be a crock. Thank God Congress is still going to be investigating. But anyway, it's the whole Biden crime family. And, again, I don't know, Pete, I don't know whether you've come to a different conclusion you may have had earlier. I still believe that President Showers with daughter will not be the Democrat nominee. Whether this is going to lead to him saying, more and more people I think are saying something like, well, all of a sudden now there's a special counsel, maybe there's going to be some stuff, and he may get to the point where he's going to say, look, I really don't want to, all this distraction's not fair to the country or the party, so I'll step aside and have someone else, run the party. And I don't know. What do you think?
Don't try and change the subject here, Mr. Short Attention Span Theater.
Oh, sorry, that's right.
What was your hillbilly score?
Oh, I forgot. I totally forgot. Actually, my hillbilly score is 33.
Holy, you're more of a hillbilly than I am. You're a bona fide hillbilly.
I only said no to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions, I think.
Damn, I'm 29. You're 33.
Well,
you should be up here,
actually,
not me.
Well, the only reason is I was thinking about it. If you look at the questions, it's just because I'm old. I mean, how many people, in their 20s have hung clothes on a clothesline with their mother? You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's like 15 of them in there just because I'm old. I've been in an outhouse. I've been in a ski lodge and stuff. Been in, chicken coops, and just because I've been around a long time, worked on a farm, and
we need to add one more question. I'm literally sitting here staring out the window at a hawk eating a field mouse out in the middle of the pasture.
Oh, cool.
But to answer your question about Biden, I don't think he's going to be the guy running.
Yeah.
Clay Travis made a good point yesterday. He thinks it's Newsom. I think it's either Newsom or Michelle if she wants it. And he agrees with me that she would win.
Yeah,
I think she would
everybody
win
says she'd win. I can't believe it.
And this country would go to hell in a handbag because that's 8 more years of Obama running stuff, which is what started the downhill slide to begin with.
That's right.
That and Wall Street trashing the entire economy of the world, doing that all together. But no, I don't think he'll run. But I think we're in for some rough weather if a Democrat gets back in there.
The only possible saving grace is if we don't lose Congress, and we have a very slim majority in the Republican-run House right now. If we get a Democrat president and lose the House again, it's over.
They just found 8,000 more fake voting things up there in Michigan.
Yeah,
we know it was stolen.
Yeah. And it was stolen, even if you don't believe that there were votes counted that should not have been counted. It was stolen because between the media and the Department of Justice and the fix with social media as well as the mainstream media was in to prevent and protect the would-be president of the United States, Biden, to make sure Trump wasn't elected again. The fix was in. The media never. In fact, I was just reading about it showed just now the mainstream media 0 seconds talking about the latest. Of the Biden Hunter's family scandal stuff. They're just not covering it.
Where is the photo or the video of the rushing water in State Farm Arena that they shut everything down and made the Republicans leave?
Yeah.
The people that were counting there and the watchers. Where is the video or the photo of any busted water pipe?
Yeah. You can't tell me that no one would have had that on tape, on video and a phone or something.
I guarantee you if it had gone Trump's way, we would have had it.
Yeah.
And we all went to bed. I went to bed.
Yeah.
He was leading in 6 swing states, and we got up the next morning, and he had lost all 6 of them.
I couldn't. I remember being astounded, absolutely. And that can't be right.
And there was 182,000 was found up there in Michigan or Wisconsin, and all of them were for Biden.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, let's play the Donald Trump ad here. And we got some comedy stuff coming up. Also, I want to talk to you about the woman who was at her wedding ceremony and turned the tables on her cheating fiance the day of the wedding at the ceremony in the church with all the families there. Coming up in a second. First of all, the Fulton County Chicken Liver DA, Fannie Chicken Liver, is still probably going to be indicting Donald Trump in the next few days. And she's now trying to deny all the charges that Donald Trump makes in his latest TV commercial. Flounder, if we could play that for the little people. And then she's trying to deny all the things that he makes very clear in this ad.
Biden's newest lackey, Atlanta DA, Fonnie Willis. So incompetent, on her watch, violent crimes have exploded. So tainted, Willis was thrown off one case for trying to prosecute a political opponent. So corrupt, Willis got caught hiding a relationship with a gang member she was prosecuting. So dishonest, Willis was accused of creating a fake subpoena. Welcome to the fraud squad. Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Well, Fannie, the district attorney, I said disgraceful attorney, well, more like a disgraceful district attorney of Fulton County, the chicken-livered coward, is now told her staff, don't anybody say anything. You may not, quote, you may not comment in any way on the ad or any of the negativity that may be expressed against me, your colleagues, this office in the coming days or months. We have no personal feelings against those we investigate or prosecute, and we should not express any. And she's denying that she was like a Monica Lewinsky queen to one of the gangbangers that's under trial on there. Oh, no, the young street, no, that was not me. No, that was somebody else who looked like me, apparently. I guess they say that she was after a certain gang and ended up having an affair with the head of the gangbanger. And this is the person that wants to indict me, said Donald Trump. Let's see. The Trump campaign paid $79,000 for the fraud squad to run the ad on cable news channels since crime rates have exploded. And again, these are the people who let them burn down the Wendy's because they didn't want to offend the gangbangers who were complaining about racism and white people. It was just Black Lives Matter, unbelievable. And by the way, she's warning her staff. Don't forget, she's claiming if she does indict him next week, the former president, that any white men who come into town are going to have to be arrested and strip searched and have your cars confiscated because she doesn't want any white people coming into Fulton County because we're so dangerous that we're going to slaughter everybody the way we killed 17,000 police officers on January 6th.
Let's do it. Let's have a whiteout and no white people go to downtown Atlanta for a week.
And that's right. Period. I'm just sick. I'm sick of this. They're divisive and hateful, and they're warning and threatening. Nobody's going to be careful because those white guys are going to come down here with Donald Trump, and they're putting up barriers, and nothing ever. And no, we're not. We aren't the people to do that. It's the Democrats who tried to burn down the freaking country.
Yep.
Jeez, have you forgotten that?
Yeah, we were the problem. You know it.
Yeah. And by the way, the Chrissy, the Russian agent Cossack Ray, the head of the federal Gestapo investigation, got caught in another lie just yesterday. I ran out of time to talk about the story about the Catholic Church and how he said, well, no, there was one rogue a bureau of FBI bureau around America that was investigating Catholics and so forth. Baloney. There were memos now showing that several of his offices were all using things like threat to the peaceful community by the Roman Catholic societies and so forth. It's unbelievable. And he got caught lying because he denied under oath that it was not anybody doing this as part of a policy, and yet they now have found the documents showing exactly that. The man's a known liar. He's lied about everything from the beginning. He lied about the meetings they had with YouTube and Facebook and everything out in Las Vegas that time. He's lying about all this stuff. Lying about not having agents for the January 6th mostly peaceful protest. He's lied about all of it. Well, we can't reveal our investigative matters. No, you're lying about it. You're covering it up. You ought to be in prison. He's a freaking traitor as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, Blackbriar tried to put stuff in my trunk to have me arrested and set me up. I'll tell you, if I die in a gunfight, I guarantee you it's the rogue FBI. He's got a special secret killer squad. The same people, that guy in Utah, that 75-year-old cripple, walks with a cane, old timer who's, totally mentally in the head saying, I'm going to get my sniper rifle. Biden comes out here. The federal Gestapo investigation drove a tank through his front window, 6 o'clock in the morning, and killed him.
You know, he's been doing that for years.
Yeah,
he's been tweeting stuff like that for years.
Yeah,
and now they go after
all the community knew all about him. He doesn't have a rifle from his window to shoot the president from 25 miles away. I mean, please. He's an old guy. He walks with a cane. He's an old cripple, 75-year-old something or other. And everybody knew about him. It's no big deal. And they drove a tank through his window and killed him. So, there you go. Anyway, that's a federal.
Because he didn't like the regime.
That's the federal. Now, the guy should not be threatening the president. Nobody's going to defend that. You can't do that. That's wrong. Everybody, that's wrong, and you should be punished for it. But driving a tank through the guy's window at 6 o'clock in the morning and then killing him wasn't exactly a threat to the FBI. I guess we had enough SWAT team guys there, did you? I don't know how many. I don't know why hundreds and hundreds of FBI agents who are the backbone of what used to be the greatest agency in the world. How come not quitting? I guess they can't find other jobs. Otherwise, they would. Because this is wrong. Or they're in on it. Which I don't want to believe. I don't want to believe. Holy crap, it's sports next. 5:14. Look out. There we go. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
You shall ever be Don Quixote tilting at windmills.
At the windmill, yes, I will.
Braves in Flushing for a series over the weekend with the Mets, a doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Today's baseball card of the day is a 1973 Topps Tom Seaver card.
Yeah.
That guy turned out okay.
Yes, he did.
Think?
Yes, he did.
Braves trying to stabilize the starting position after splitting a 4-game setup in Pittsburgh. They're bringing up
some
guys.
issues.
Winans,
yeah.
They're going to try him. There's an article on the internet trying to suggest that the biggest disappointment this season is not the Mets, but the Padres. Nice try.
Wow,
the Mets were supposed to challenge the Braves like they did last year.
Yeah,
the Pods are perennial underachievers who have never won anything. And I love San Diego, but the Padres at 55-60 are still in the hunt for the wild card. The Mets are not.
Yeah.
Having said that, Juan Soto says his team has some quitters on it, saying instead of grinding out at-bats like he does, some teammates out there just give up.
Really? That's
I wonder how
pretty
that
strong.
plays.
Yeah, that's not good locker room stuff there. Now, is he the great big leader that everybody looks up to? I mean, he's kind of new.
No, he's not a leader. No, he's 24 years old, but they used to compare him to Acuna.
Well, he's a star, but he's not a leader of the team or anything to be talking like that, is he?
No, he just got out there last year. He's a hitter. That's all he is. He can't field.
Yeah.
So,
anyway.
Former Brave Jose Bautista has signed a one-day contract to retire as a member of the team, which he played for 10 seasons. Which team is that, Kimmer?
Ours, especially.
No, the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays team of Bautista, the famous Blue Jay.
The 42-year-old leads the game, a 6-time All-Star, 247 batting average, 344 homers, played 15 seasons in 8 different teams, and became famous for his bat flips and getting punched out by the Rangers' Rougned Odor. Another award-winning episode of HCIS dropped this morning. Holy Crap at Sports.
Holy Crap at Sports, yes.
Around 4 a.m., so check it out where their fine podcasts are handed out.
Any top story to plug and tease? A special interest?
That was 4 a.m. You think I remember what I did at 4 a.m. this morning? I have no clue what I talked about.
No, that's all good.
If you're kidnapped and forced to travel to Columbia, Missouri, and I feel for you if you do, and you have to attend the Tigers football game, at least the grunts are cheaper now. They're lowering concession prices. A cheeseburger will now set you back only $5 American, a hot dog $3 at Memorial Stadium, although you will be paying for that hot dog for several days afterwards. A game at Mizzou is believed to be the 5th most expensive game day experience in all of college football. You will have an average of $241 per person per game.
Wait, but say that again now?
To go to a Missouri football game, you will spend $241.
For a college game?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Especially
that's
for Missouri.
Outrageous.
Yeah, they need to lower that price.
Oh, my God.
Bit. A report on the internet, so it must be true, claims the real reason the Pac-12 broke up was that ESPN offered them $30 million a team to broadcast their football games.
Ooh.
The grand poobahs of the Pac-12 said, no, we want $50 million.
Ooh.
ESPN says take a hike, and the vultures of the Big Ten came a-calling, and that was the end of the Pac-12.
Holy cow.
At least for another year.
Well,
An Alabama fan just placed a $75,000 bet on Bama to beat Middle Tennessee State this season. He went to Caesar Sports to do that. Guess how much he'll win if
probably $10. But the odds can't be that. The odds got to be. I mean, so that you'd have to bid $1,000 to win 1,010.
He'll get $300.
I was going to say, what an idiot! I'll give you $300. You have to. Well, I don't have $300.
Look, math isn't a major emphasis.
That's unbelievable.
In the heart of Dixie.
How dumb can you? What happened if there's an upset? Oh my God! For $300, you lose $75,000.
Yeah. Former U.S. women's national soccer team hero Carly Lloyd has been critical of the team up to now, and is really critical after their embarrassing loss in the World Cup. Yeah. Lloyd says some of the players became entitled to the point they mistreated the training and equipment staffs, blowing off scheduled massage therapies and throwing their trash around, expecting the training staff to pick up after them like they were children.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'll bet that's true.
Total house.
Well, we saw by their attitude. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell by people
attitude.
their attitude.
The Rome Braves, where we saw a game a couple years ago, delightful experience.
Fun time.
They're changing their name.
No, what now?
Now they're going to be called the We're Not Augusta Braves. No, just kidding. Nice. After 20 years of being the Braves, they want to own their own name like the AAA Gwinnett Stripers have done.
Okay.
They're going to generate more revenue, sell more jerseys.
I can see that.
And they want you, the public, to make suggestions for the Northwest Georgia team's new moniker. Well, since it's Rome, how about the Gladiators? Or the Senators?
Rome, yeah.
Or maybe the Romans. Or Roman hands. The hands. The Rome High
hands.
18.
Roman fingers.
Yeah. The Rome High 18 will continue to be a Braves affiliate despite the name change. And one fan says it should be the Rome Triumvirate.
Hey, but go ahead. No, go ahead.
My favorite. There's an exchange on the website batterypower.com between three different people. And here's what it had. Sir Ring first wrote, the writing seems to be on the wall. If minor league teams are changing their names, then I'll give it 2, maybe 3 years, and ALT will also change its name.
Oh, really?
And WJ said, what is ALT? Because it's supposed to be ATL.
TL, yeah.
So he goes, what is ALT? So Warlord wrote, it is a key that commonly used in combination with other keys. You might recognize it from its use in the hit trio Control-Alt-Delete.
Very funny.
A man after my own heart.
And by the way, why don't they pick a name like, the Mud Turtles or those weird minor league baseball teams that are so famous for having the really bizarre thing? I mean, pick one of the Lemon Squirrels. Or, I don't know. I mean, would that be funny though? Would they have come up with some really bizarre? It's like a Bodie McBoatface,
How about the Roman Otters? Or the
Rome Otters?
The Rome Otters. The Rome oscillating
something.
otters.
How about a syllable that if you put it together quickly by saying the word Rome, that it would come out as one word?
Well,
like the Romanators.
Something for Rome, Georgia, like the Rome Oscillating Fans, or the Rome Sweats, or the...
Well, that could be true.
All right. American ice hockey coach Herb Brooks of the Olympic gold medal fame in 1980 died in a car crash on this date actually he was 66. Kurt Russell did a good job in the movie, as you remember that.
Yes, he did.
And we talk about Shohei Ohtani, as rightly should, as maybe the greatest ball player of all time. But just to put what Babe Ruth did in perspective, on this date in 1929 in Cleveland, the Babe smacked home run number 500. The next guy behind him was Cy Williams, played for the Phillies. Guess how many home runs he had?
All right, 1929, Babe Ruth had 500. He was the first player to hit 500 home runs, and the guy behind him hit probably 420.
237.
200. Oh, hey, wow, that's a large difference there.
Babe Ruth revolutionized baseball. Shohei has yet to do that. We'll see. And in 1968, legendary right-hander Satchel Paige was 62 years old, but he needed 158 days on the MLB payroll to qualify for a pension. So the Atlanta Braves signed him as a coach. Team owner Bill Bartholomew likely had a great deal to say about this. And today is his birthday. He was born in 1928, passed away 3 years ago. He was the man who sold the team to Ted Turner, but he was a huge mover and shaker in Atlanta sports, Milwaukee sports, and bringing the Braves to Atlanta. And I'm sure he was right there helping Satchel Paige get his pension there. That's actually very cool.
Yeah. That is very cool.
And that's sports.
And speaking of baseball, in 1951, a Major League Baseball game broadcast in color on TV for the first time. The Brooklyn Dodgers beat the Boston Braves 8-1. And by the way, that's right. And by the way, Pete, you mentioned yesterday the new book about Phil Mickelson, kind of a bio thing, talks about his gambling problems. And you mentioned yesterday, Phil Mickelson, over the 30 or so years that he's been a gambler, has wagered more than $1 billion. And he admits it. Well, I've got a few more specifics about this. For one, you hear about Rory McIlroy was joking. They've had kind of a feud because Phil Mickelson went to the Saudi Arabian tour, and Rory McIlroy has been they've been blasting each other about it. So the Mickelson played all associate play. Oh, here we go. Mickelson allegedly asked one of his friends to put a $400,000 bet on the American team to win the Ryder Cup back in the year 2012. The U.S. lost in stunning fashion in what is now known as a miracle at Medina, so he would have lost his $400,000. And now McIlroy says Mickelson can stay involved in this year's competition. It'll be played in Italy next month. At least now he can bet on the Ryder Cup since he won't be part of it. Which is kind of a dig. Now, just for the record, here's what Phil Mickelson admits basically that he has done. Mickelson in the year 2011 made 3,154 bets. That's 9 bets a day. In a single day in June of 2011, Phil Mickelson made 43 bets on one day on Major League Baseball games and lost more than $140,000 on that one day. It was nothing for Phil to bet 20 grand on a game, 5-team NBA parlays, wager $100,000 or $200,000 on one game of football or basketball or baseball. Phil got to the point where he admitted, my gambling got to the point of being reckless and embarrassing. I had to address it. I've been addressing it for a number of years, hundreds of hours of therapy. I feel good where I am. My family and I have been financially secure for some time. But again, he admits it. He had a gambling problem, and apparently still does. I don't think he ever get over it. It reminds me of my two brothers were gamblers, and my older brother, Gene, the pro golfer, lost everything. Gambling. They would bet. They would throw tees in the water. And Todd playing golf together. They'd throw colored tees in a creek and bet on which one would get to the front of the creek before the other one. They would bet on what color the car was the next one to come around a corner. I mean, when you're addicted to gambling, it's a disease.
I bet.
And I can prove that they lost everything, and I can prove my bank account trying to help them out too. Anyway, 5:30. We got more coming up. Look out. Here we go. joke back in 1984, and about 10 minutes ago they played it from Fox News feeding down our radio station, so whatever, you get to hear it twice, why not? That was pretty funny. Boy, did that cause a ruckus. Holy smokes. The guy's just goofing around. Give me a break. Anyway, is this a Beatle? We got Beatles going here?
The Who.
What's that? The Who?
The Who.
Well, let me go ahead and try to find. I don't have that on here. Well, there's the Who now. Thinking for who? What's this song called? I don't have that on here. Did I miss a list somewhere?
No, look at the high numbers.
The high numbers. Oh, I see. Oh, that's what it is. I got you. Here we go. 1964. Whoops.
This is another tricky day.
What's that? Another what?
Another tricky day.
Another tricky day. 1964. Here's the list of what the thing says. In 1964, the high numbers. Okay, so I didn't know what that was. That's what's outlined here in the green ink. So, okay, here's now what it means. The high numbers, later to become The Who, played at the Railway Hotel in Harrow, England, just before the band was to do on stage. Roger Daltrey's father-in-law came into the venue and dragged the singer outside and hit him. The band started their set, and Roger Daltrey appeared back on stage after the fight with his father-in-law. I don't know. I assume it was something about his daughter. The guy said, wow, that's pretty bizarre. Anyway, on this day in history, 1950, God, I can't see a damn thing. 1992, the Mall of America opens in Bloomington, Minnesota. 2.5 million square feet of retail space, 4 floors, 500 shops, an indoor amusement park with a roller coaster and an aquarium. The Mall of America, Bloomington, Minnesota. And that's enough. I got the thing there. All right, boys, it's 5:37. Oh, I wanted to tell you about this rather bizarre story here, which came across social media. A girl named Casey, very excited to marry her fiancé, Alex, until she received an anonymous text the day before their wedding. They were together 6 years. She thought she had found the one true love. Boy, I know that feeling when you're so mistaken after...
All right.
Sorry. No, I didn't mean, sorry. All right. They've been together 6 years. She thought he loved her. Sorry. The message changed everything. According to her friend, Casey was celebrating in a hotel room with her friends and saw her phone light up. Thinking it would be a message of well wishes or congratulations, she turned it over and saw something totally different. There were a series of screenshots of texts between her fiancé and another woman. Her heart sank as she's in a room with her friends night before the wedding, gets a phone message, a bunch of texts. Her heart sank as she flicked through the countless conversations and saw selfies of the two of them together from even a few days ago. Quote, your body is blanking incredible, and do you know how to use it? I wish my girlfriend had half the skills you do. I've never had this kind of connection before. And this weekend, you and I, it's on. Hot stuff. Bring your A game. This is her fiancé the day before the wedding. She's reading this. Some of the messages were arranging weekend getaways and trips together. She felt completely broken, her world slipping away in front of her eyes. Obviously, her wedding was mere hours away. She had to make a decision. What do I do now? So she decided that night to sleep on it, figured out a course of action in the morning. In the morning, Casey said, I woke up the girls and told them my decision. I was going to go ahead with the wedding as expected and out him in front of our friends and family. So she got to the church, got to the standing in front of the altar, and said, there will be no wedding today. It seems Alex is not who I thought he is. She then went on to read all of those texts. With each word, more color left Alex's face, she recalled. I let my weeping eyes rise and meet his. And he had not one thing to say. He stalked out of the church with his best man trailing behind him. His family looked on, horrified. Casey continued, I love all of you, and as horrible as this is, I'm glad you are all here. There will not be a wedding reception today, but instead there will be a celebration of honesty, finding true love, and following your heart even when it hurts. A Facebook post later on, everybody was there except Alex and his brother. Everybody else at the reception had a great time and had a blast, and that is some serious badassery for the bride-to-be reading the text to the families at the altar.
Meanwhile, the father of the bride who paid for it all is weeping in the corner.
Well, I'll bet he's glad, though. You know, it'd be worth paying. Anyway, wow, what a freaking story. Have we got another a comedy bit?
Yes, we do.
Let's do one more just for the fun of it.
This is Bill Burr ranting at some the woke women.
Excellent. Bill Burr. We love Bill.
I got to tell you, the way white women somehow hijack the woke movement, generals around the world should be analyzing this. The woke movement was supposed to be about people of color, and it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. My name is O'Hara, with my SUV and my heated seats. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Trashing white guys. The nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women.
Kind of short, but it's
Bill
funny
Burr.
and to the point.
He's a classic. Is he still around? Are they still doing comedian trips?
He's doing stand-up and touring.
Really?
Acting,
I don't.
Yeah.
I guess I don't follow any. I don't know, kind of social media stuff. Well, I guess we know that.
You get out of Alpharetta every now.
Yeah, that'd be true. By the way, coming up, we're going to play that new song that's just making the incredible rounds by Oliver Anthony. In fact, and heck, you want to do it? We got 3 minutes, right? It's 3 minutes long. Let's do that. This is an incredible story. A Virginia factory worker named Oliver Anthony became a sensation overnight. And the story is a really interesting one, and I'm going to read parts of it here for you. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we got 3 minutes. Oliver, he told a friend, Oliver was struggling with mental health and coping with alcohol in depths of despair. About a month ago, Oliver got down on his knees and broke down in tears. He was not a religious man, but that night he promised God to get sober if God helped him follow his dream. He was 30 days sober when somebody reached out and asked him if he would like to record a song for his YouTube channel. That song is called Rich Men North of Richmond. Within days, the song went viral, and he's now apparently being offered a record contract. And when I heard this, I actually started getting choked up about it when I heard it this afternoon in my headphones, as clear as a bell, and really heard the message of it. Here's a guy I've never heard of him before, but Oliver with this song that's now making a big hit on social media right now.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world.
Living in the new world.
With an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't dish, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, 'cause the rich men. Politicians look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is.
The fellow who offered to help him is named Jason Howerton. He said, I offered to help cover the cost to produce the record. I had no idea what would transpire, nor did I know just how powerful his story was on the situation that God was inserting me into. I wanted to help. This is how we're going to change the culture in the country. I'm excited to announce that Oliver just got joined Twitter as an official handle. He's made one Twitter post, a single song, got 70,000 followers. One guy writes, there's not a country artist alive that can pack water to the fires this kid is about to start. Quite a talent. Man, thanks for sharing this. Hit me in a way I wasn't ready for. Love this song. Quite a talent. I'll drink to that. And the kid's on his way. The kid's on his way. What a great story. Help me,
we're
God.
Following him on Twitter now.
Outstanding. 5:46. More coming up. Kim, Peter, and the Flounder. What? Kim, Peter, and the Flounder? Oh, my God. The popedom wasn't quite the same in 1492 as it is today, as far as we know. Anyway.
That's probably exactly the same.
Probably so, yeah. By the way, just in from our correspondent Mike Hunt at the Babylon Bee, in a swift response to the devastating wildfire spreading across the island of Maui, the Department of Justice has now announced that former President Donald Trump has now been indicted for the deadly blaze. Yes, it's time for Mr. Trump to be held accountable, said the Hawaiian Attorney General, who works closely with the Department of Justice. The fire's ravaging our beautiful state, destroying homes, taking lives of innocent Hawaiians. We had no choice but to bring charges against Donald Trump. A DOJ spokesman says this has nothing to do with politics. It's only about trying to make sure we can do everything we can to keep Trump from being make it to the election. But it's not politically motivated, really not for real. Donald Trump responded, another attempt by the radical left to take me out, he said on Truth Social. I would never set Hawaii on fire. Maybe other states like Oregon, but not Hawaii. I have a hotel in Waikiki, the most beautiful hotel in Hawaii. Many people have said so. This is all a plot to keep me from being elected for a third time. Sad. Donald Trump was reportedly hoping he'd be required to travel to Hawaii to face the charges because he had to work on his tan. Anyway, all right, look out. It's 5:54. Pete Davis, I think you got something left over about kitty cats and flavors or something or other. I didn't want to leave out what we might have left here for today.
Cats, huh? That's what you want to talk about? All right,
or we could do, say, if we have a Skynet.
I got the cats right here.
All right, there you go.
Right. By the way, Babylon Bee also has a relief plane flying over the wildfires of Maui, saying it's on its way to Ukraine.
yeah, don't get your hopes up, people in Hawaii. Yeah. We're not stopping for you.
You may think you know your cat, but you don't.
Yeah, no.
Cats are believed to be the only mammals who do not taste sweetness.
Really? Don't have a taste bud for sweetness?
Nope. House cats share 95.6% of their genetic makeup with tigers.
Wow. Now, I wonder how they know. I guess they must know what the cell looks like for the sweet thing, I suppose.
Cats walk with both right feet, then both left feet. Only camels and giraffes also do this.
The same side at one time? Oh, that's not done. Yeah, I think I saw that once, but I had forgotten about that. I'm going to go Google that now.
Well, why are you going to Google it when I just told you?
Well, I want to look at it. I want to see it for myself. You mind? I want to see the video.
Don't believe me.
I do believe you, but I want to see because I've forgotten. It's like when you see horse galloping, all their feet are off the ground.
Well, okay, now watch this. Now, this is something you want to look up, too.
Yeah.
Cats stick their butts in your face as a gesture of friendship.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And a cat wrote that, by the way. Cats can drink seawater. Their kidneys are able to filter the salt out of the water.
Wow. Now, we should have that. God, can you think of that? No one would ever be thirsty for water again.
That's true. Cats knock objects over and off the edges to test for hidden prey and to annoy us.
We knew that was true.
People with cat allergies are not allergic to the fur. They're allergic to a protein found in the saliva, urine, and dander.
Ooh.
A cat's purr has the power to self-heal the cat.
His purr?
His purr heals him. That's why he does it.
Wow.
The collective noun for a group of wild cats is what?
Cat group.
A cat group. Is that the scientific Latin term for it? Catus grupus? Is that it, Mr. Scholar?
A cat quorum. I don't know.
A quorum of cats. Yeah, we can vote on it now. Felix is here. Felix. Come in with your bag.
Raise your tail.
All right. The collective noun for a group of wild cats is a destruction of cats.
Well, that's stupid. What does that even mean?
That's exactly what when wild cats show up, everything gets destroyed.
Destruction. A destruction is a noun, but it's not used as a destruction of the people.
It's a collective noun.
No, they're wrong, and I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it.
And finally, a cat's tongue can lick bones, clean off any bits of meat.
Oh, I'm sure of that. Oh, no, wait a minute. In other words, they can lick the meat off a bone, or put it the other way. Yeah,
that's why they're all scratchy, because they could. Yeah, I did that backwards.
Because of their scratchy tongue, so they have enough power in the scratchiness to actually get rid of the. Yeah.
So that's why when they're continuously licking just one part of you, they're trying to get to the bone.
Oh my! Well, that's a good sign. Oh Lordy! Oh mercy! Did you hear about the Seattle police lieutenant woman who said, I can't take it anymore, and sent a letter to the police department unleashing an unapologetic, unfiltered letter. Chief, let me tell you, in the city is a disgrace, a toxic mix of the city council absurdity, spinelessness of the mayor, leniency of the prosecutor's office. Your failed leadership has accelerated the city's downhill slide straight to rock bottom. The problems were already brewing before you came on the scene, but since your arrival, it's been a free fall into anarchy and chaos. The city council's lost touch with reality, making decisions that defy common sense and basic logic. Their priority is playing politics and pandering to radical ideologies rather than serving the city's and residents' best interests. She said the mayor prioritizing political correctness disregards a rampant lawlessness on the streets. The police chief plays political games. The officers are suffering under your failed leadership and incompetence of you people in power. That's it. And I quit. Seems about right. Anyway, guys, have a great weekend. Now, hi to Miss Veronica, flounder. And Pete, have a wonderful time at the mountains of Macon. And is there any drag racing going on this weekend?
Not this week. It's next week.
All right. All right, boys. Have a great one. New Ross, Semper Fi. I got to go. You're killing me. 6 o'clock. Look out, Herb.
Metro 106.3.
The investigation deepens. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The federal prosecutor investigating President Biden's son Hunter has been granted special counsel status.
The U.S. Attorney in Delaware, David Weiss, is now taking on special counsel status in his investigation of Hunter Biden.
It also reaffirms that Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation and to continue to take the steps he...